Welcome, everybody, as you guys are joining us here. We are here with LabCoat Agents and Lone Wolf. We are joined by Mr. Kyle. Kyle, remind me of your last name here.
Kyle Hunter.
Kyle Hunter is here with Lone Wolf, and he's going to be walking us through their product. And it's called Relationships. And he's going to help us kind of be able to turn some holiday wishes into opportunities. And so he's going to kind of show us exactly what that looks like. Great time of the year for us to be connecting about this, because it's probably the most perfect chance for agents to join in on this product and be able to use it right away. So as Kyle introduces himself here in a second, drop in the chat, everybody, where you guys are from, what city and state. Would love to hear that as well. So we can know who's joining us here today. But Kyle, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit further and give us a nice little welcome to what Relationships is.
Sure, and thanks, Trenton. I'm Kyle Hunter, Lone Wolf. This is probably my 12th webinar with the LabCoat Agent audience. So it's been a great year, and really appreciate all the conversations. And so, I'm the industry principal here. Just means that I represent Lone Wolf in whether it's on events or other areas. And many of you currently use Lone Wolf solutions today, whether it's Cloud CMA or ZipForm or Transaction Desk or a multitude of others, HomeSpotter. So a lot of different things that we have used and talked about throughout the year, but also things that have been in the industry for a long time. So today I'm happy to really reintroduce. So funny thing is, we launched Relationships, which is our new CRM solution. It's really not a CRM. It's really a light relationship management tool that connects with our other solutions that you could already be using. So for instance, if you're using ZipForm or Transaction Desk or Transact, our new transaction management, it all ties together. And it also integrates with some other things. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But definitely stay on, because we have the best deal for the year for the LabCoat Agent audience. And so we've got a special code. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move through a little bit. So
excellent. Well, one thing I noticed right away is that if it's not a CRM, it's not there's tools in trying to be another CRM, and that's something agents don't necessarily always need, is to overload it with systems. So can you kind of describe to us exactly what it is, so that way the agents can kind of quickly get a quick overview for those that have not been introduced to this product that are on the call today?
Sure, absolutely. I'm just going to flip over. I have a couple slides. I know people don't like being slided to death, but we're going to, just take you a little bit about, through what we're doing. So, this right now is a good season. To your point, we're slowing down a little bit, and we have, this is a time that many agents and brokerages are looking back at 25 and doing planning and saying, what have we done? What succeeded? How's the market going to change? But really, the good agents and those that are looking to be productive are formulating plans and starting to build their business today. What can we do to actually, continue to grow our business plan and portfolio to get the most out of 2025. And so what Relationships is, let me see here, and I apologize, I'm going to do something and pull something up. It is really a place to connect all of the people. So many of the agents that we've found will use this instead of maybe a lightweight, instead of their phone, and they want to get better connected. They want to have connected email. They want to have a little more flexibility in their messaging and how they're sending things out. But maybe you're not using a robust follow-up boss. At the same time, you have companies that are using this in conjunction with those, because it does connect in to some of the tools. And again, it's why we don't really consider it a CRM, but more of a tool to foster those relationships and continue to build your sphere by keeping in contact with the people maybe that you haven't engaged with over the past time frame.
Yeah,
So
so it definitely sounds like more of a smart assistant that's sending, some thoughtful messages to your clients, especially at this time of the year. And then it could just be showing little moments that show love throughout the year, whether it be holiday touches, seasonal notes. So it's really exciting to see how it's easy to engage with those who you may have lost touch with. And so I'm assuming that you're probably going to kind of walk us through exactly how that works.
yeah. And so, one of the first things that we like to touch is you have a lot of contacts. And right now, as it is a little bit of the slow season, it's a time for reflection and cleanup and reset. And so bringing in and really creating messaging for the future, getting back in touch with these folks is something that we as a company try to train towards. We actually do have other CRMs that are focused on different areas, but this is really a tool where you can kind of coordinate and bring people together, know who is going to be making a purchasing decision, maybe next year, maybe not at all right now, but you still want to keep them engaged, and you want to send them holiday greetings, and you want to have a place where everything is kind of combined. um, you know this is where you can do that. It's real-time engagement, with warm leads, but also ones that you're curating and moving through your pipeline. So one of the first things that we did is that we wanted to make it really easy and quick to see the things that you want to see. So who's new, who has upcoming birthdays and events and things that are open. It does tie directly to our transaction management solution. So if you do have open opportunities or open deals, whether that's listing agreements, buyer broker agreements, all of those are in place, and it's at a quick snapshot, so you can always kind of see what's going on in your network.
Excellent. And just to confirm, Kyle, if you're trying to share your screen, I don't believe we're seeing that at the moment.
Okay, let me just check again here. Not seeing that, huh?
Just want to make sure. No, under present possibly.
It says Streamline is sharing your screen. Stop sharing. I don't know. Maybe can someone in the chat just throw in and see
Here
if
we
you
go.
see?
Now
Oh,
it's
there we go.
there we go.
All right, very good.
Kyle.
Okay, now we're with it. Okay, so yeah, so this is this is one of the screens, and really, it's the opening point for someone as you're going in. So it's a dashboard. You don't have tons of widgets and things going on. We tried to make it nice and clean, where it's just showing, the specific people that you're wanting to engage in, and then we create some really good tagging options and filtering so that you can quickly sort through. So if you think about it, your phone, Outlook, some of those are displaced. You have different things in different places, and this is an area where you can, really set filters, set things to quickly identify and see where your people are and what you're looking to and how you're looking to group them together. So also something every morning you can kind of test and see who's engaged, who's the kind of the top of mind that you would need to go back and follow up with. So we have a couple quick buttons that are somewhat adjustable, so you can identify what are those top of mind folks that when you're coming in the morning that you want to get back to. As an example, birthdays. So it just puts that right front and center so that you can just send a quick message out. Or in our time frame, obviously we're right near the holidays. Maybe you want to set that up as sends so that you can track those relationships.
Yeah, that's a great point, because instead of kind of scrambling during the holidays, or even just going quiet and that hoping that the clients will kind of respond to you guys, to the agents, this is where the platform is just going to pull it directly, those touch points forward for you guys automatically as well. So everything that you need for that day or for that upcoming week, it's right there for you guys to be able to see. But that's pretty nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if we're going on, when we get into the actual contact, this is where we do build in AI. We don't want to say, oh, we're just the best AI company in the world, because a lot of times that gets misused. But absolutely, we do have the ability to integrate that AI into your messaging, all the various messaging, whether it's our email contacts through integrations with our other Outlooks and Gmails, or through texting with our integration partner. You have that ability to craft that message, and you can quickly tweak it if you don't want it. You want it in your personal, the way that you're saying things. You can tag people. Different customers have different ways that they like to communicate. They have, you might talk to an engineer different than you do, a professor, and so you have different ways that you can communicate and push that information forward. So personalizing those holiday without having to do each one individually, really no manual work. So it makes it nice and quick to get those curated messages out to a wide array of clientele that you would have in your sphere. Also, you can schedule them. So, if you're heading out of town, but you want it to hit on specific time frames and you don't want to think about it, and you want to do this, and you're a good planner and you want to do this ahead of time, but you want it to hit at the times that it would be, maybe you're setting up things for, maybe, Christmas or the New Year, and those are two different messages, or maybe right afterwards, you can set it and forget it, and how you are putting those messages in and when you want those delivered. So it makes that part super easy, but also, hey, let's talk about next year. January is going to come quick. Do we want to start getting the ball rolling, and talk about ways to get your home ready for, listing? You said you wanted to list in early, spring, and you want to make sure that we're getting there. So if you have messaging that you would want to hit at these certain times, you can build those out. Same thing for buyers, on the buying side, get them ready to get back in the motion after the holidays, when many people are, re-engaging. But again, it keeps you top of mind without having to get in and do that work throughout this whole, time frame. And then just, reinforcing this is the nature of any relationship management tool. You want to make sure that they think of you when they are looking to do whatever business it is. In our case, it's real estate. So, they get hit from a lot of different agents. I think on average, the person knows 7 agents in their sphere, 7 real estate, sales representatives. So with that, you need to be continually in place to win that business so that they can think of you to get a shot at that. I know that that's something that we've talked about in the past, is that, having that continual communication, and something that's relevant and meaningful. Okay, so I know a lot of you use coaches. Obviously, LabCoat has a lot of different messaging and ideas, from Nick and Tristan and team, to provide good content and relevant. So incorporating those ideas into here is something that you can do. We're not going to necessarily, we have some canned stuff, and you have abilities to save and do all of that. But we're not, going to take that session over. Again, going back to the ease of relationship and how you can curate and continue to build that. So that is really kind of our focus. And we do, again, use the AI. So if you have messaging and you're not the you're not the best wordsmith, you can use this, and you can just drop that in. It's very straightforward and easy to use, but again, part of the tool. Going in, go ahead. Sorry, Trent.
Well, I'll just say that's a great addition, because it's going to allow for, that speed to lead, and also be able to quickly get things out, making sure that you're not having to worry about crafting all these messages. They're all right there for you guys. So that way it can be quick and you guys can get back to that selling real estate.
Yeah, exactly. And what those do, they help you create the templates. And, obviously templates have been around since, CRMs have, and messaging and web platforms, and, even our transaction management tools, have templates in there. But you can build them yourselves. You can have AI help you with them, and then you can save them and make it simple. That's the whole point that we try to get to, is that the best relationship management tool is one that's easy to use and not overcomplicated, but also one that you actually use. I mean, that is the best. And again, this is taking it out of your phones and spreadsheets and in myriad of places, and having it there, or in supplement to something that you're using in a more robust fashion. So it's really one or the other. Now, I did want to point out something, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but I think the deal dropped on the bottom. Maybe I just saw it, but for this month and for LabCoat Agents, we have the Flash 95. So $95 for the entire year, which generally it's $3.99, which is just a remarkable deal. So if you wanted to do that, right there on, we have the barcode that you can scan in. And again, I think another big piece to the relationship solution is that it works in the same area and sphere of a lot of the products that you might already be using by Lone Wolf. So again, whether it's Cloud CMA or your Boost Home Spotter, or if it is, your ZipForm Transaction Desk, Transact, any of those solutions, you have the ability so that if you have a customer, a buyer, seller, prospect in there, you're not moving their information from one place to another. You're not having to re-input that same person. Also, if you make changes, it is bi-directional, so that information will push back in. So if you're making a change onto a contact or a relationship, that information will continue to flow. So you almost have a single source of truth, if that makes sense. So that when you're pushing that through the various pieces, if your brokerage is using our back office tool, that helps there as well, because it integrates all together and you're not having to rekey in, that same type of information. Now, I do want to point out that is up to you. That is a very private database for agents, so you're not sharing all your information with whomever. It is, your contained information. It's only what you would want to send. So if you're only sending, your buyers and sellers, once you have deals that are, mandated by your brokerage, then we have all of that built in, so that you're not necessarily, you're not sharing your sphere with everyone there.
Yeah, that's great, because a lot of agents just kind of assume that a system means constant spreadsheet uploads or manually updating contacts all the time, which is usually the point where they kind of check out. But since what's so smart here in your database here is that it's already from a synced integration, or once you kind of update that information, it's already there, it stays updated. And then that way you guys don't have to have that repetitive importing as well. So that's where this kind of succeeds.
Yeah. I am getting a couple questions about actually seeing a live shot or a screenshot. And, based on the timing today, we don't have that live. We do have it recorded. I think we did this a few months ago, but we also have folks that can help with that. So if you reach out, we can have the information and fill out a request form, or if you wanted to drop your information in, we'd be happy to have someone reach out to you and provide, content and why. We also have a trial. So if you wanted to go in and play around with it, you can go through and do that as a no obligation trial. Many companies or many agents will love going in and playing and getting a feel for it. And again, $95 for a year, I mean, that's less than $8 a month. It's kind of a no-brainer as a source of having a CRM, especially for any of you who are looking to make a change, or even have something that's very robust, but you want this in addition to what you already have. We've had companies that, or I should say agents that have started using this platform, even though they're on a legacy CRM solution that had a lot of bells and whistles, and part of that is they're paying lots of money for these other solutions, and realizing that they don't need all of that other stuff. They can really focus on the relationship with this, and it gives them most of what they're doing today anyway. So again, that's where we're using as kind of the advantage here. I think last, again, this is the deal of the year. So we are relatively new in this solution. We launched about 6 months ago in a LabCoat Agent webinar, and we've had a lot of traction, a lot of folks that have downloaded and started utilizing the system. So we're continuing to build and add to it. so it's not going to end with its development. It is a great tool to start out with, but you'll have all of that advantage if you wanted to go in and go ahead and make that change and download and take a look and try it out. So we do have this promotion code. Let me see, is that the last one? I thought we had a slide for questions, but I'd love to answer any questions or any other items that you might have, Trent, that you want to discuss.
Yeah, and I mean, with everything happening in the market right now, December and January are going to be huge differentiation months for you guys. And so as agents, if you guys are going to be going quiet right now, they're going to feel it come February and March, because you really want to make sure that you have something consistently keeping you visible out there. And really these small, thoughtful touches that remind clients that you're in their corner, that's when the referral and repeat business really starts to compound. So we want to make sure that these touch points that you guys are putting out there are there to set you guys up for a stronger 2026 for sure. And so this is why having this great of a deal for this at this time of the year is such a no-brainer here. But let me check in with some of these questions here that we do have. One, can we get a kind of a live look at the product possibly? And then moving forward as well, will it merge and clean up contacts? That's one. And then does it sync with Google Contacts? So talk a little bit more about the syncing portion of it and what that integration looks like.
Sure, and we do sync with Google for email and for bringing in contact information. That's something when you download and try, you can kind of see the types of information that you can pull in. I think the merge and sync cleanup of contacts can be done. It gets a little tricky because it's like, which one do you keep, which one do you not? So there are some capabilities there. But that's a very individual up to users. If it's coming from Google, that's one thing. If it's coming from other contacts, it can be another. The system does, we do have the ability to bring in with our contact section, bring in some stuff from our other partners that we partnered with. Follow Up Boss is an example of one that we integrate with our Transact solution and some others. To your screenshot question, or to the live shot, again, happy to have your information. If you wanted to drop it in, we can have someone reach out to you. We can set up a time and kind of take you through a live. There's lots of videos that kind of walk you through the entire process flow, but happy to help where we can. Just not enough time here today to kind of jump in and show you. Generally, going through the demo takes about let's see, probably about half an hour, unless you get into deep and some more of the things. To get a one-on-one live demo, I think we dropped it in the chat, but you can go into lwolf.com/get-a-demo, and you can just pop your information in there, and someone can reach out to you and certainly send you some recorded content on that as well. So
yeah, that wants to check this out, definitely check out that demo, because that's going to give you guys more of an in-depth look, a good breakdown of what that system really is. And also, I believe that we record all our past webinars as well. So any that Lone Wolf has done in the past, you could definitely find on our LabCoat Agents YouTube channel for sure. And then also within LabCoat Agents as well. And one thing to kind of just point on here is that it's not necessarily like another tech piece that you guys have to add. This is more of adding a connection piece, something that you guys are already wanting to do, something that you should do, but now finally this is making it manageable for you guys to do, because consistency is going to win you guys the business in 2026. And relationships here really gives you guys a simple way to stay consistent without burning out. And so I think that's a very important part there, is that this is super easy to use, and you guys are able to then keep those connections alive when you guys are already doing other things as well. Yeah.
And I think, even if you take one thing away from this, it is that this is the time to plan for 26. Build a plan, and then next year you work your plan. And having a tool like relationships will help you with that. Just thinking through the process of, putting in your people, figuring out where you want to go, where you want to be. I've seen a lot of good headlines recently with upticks in mortgage, with upticks in people that are looking out for starts. And so hopefully, and I think we're all in the same boat. We're hoping that 2026 is going to be a stellar year and really take off. And so this is the time to make that plan and get ahead of the game.
Excellent. Yeah, because quiet months are, where that momentum is really built. It's not where deals necessarily happen, but it's where your relationships start to be strengthened. So continue to check out this product. Again, if you guys have any further questions, drop them into the chat here. We got about 2 minutes left. But this is a really great deal here. Again, sign up for that demo if you want a little bit more in-depth look before, signing up with the promotion here. How long does this promotion last for, Kyle?
This is going to go through the end of the year. So you have 4 weeks left or 3 weeks left. Oh man, it's moving quick. So
yep.
Through the end of the year. I mean, $95. It's really like I said, it's a no-brainer, especially when you're connecting all the rest of the Lone Wolf tools, and then you'll have a year for it. So learn more, relationships.com. There's a couple links in there, and we'd love to bring you on and have you continue to grow with Lone Wolf.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate it, Kyle. If you have any last thoughts, great, share them. My last thoughts for everybody is that if you're not already focused about next year, if you haven't already started setting some of these things up, well, you're probably already a little behind. And so you want to make sure that you guys really take advantage of this deal because that's going to help, jumpstart you guys for those that have not accomplished this goal yet. Because you want to make sure that you have these, conversations in place for sure.
Trenton, it was a pleasure, and I really appreciate you hosting today. And you have a great holiday season and look forward to 2026.
Excellent. You as well, Kyle. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.